feeling like it's a lot. So you'll just have to let me know. I look forward to your feedback. We're going to start with what's going on currently in the news. And we have this Family First Coronavirus Response Act that was enacted on March 18th. So this generally applies to businesses with fewer than 500 employees, and it does a few things. One is that it's an emergency update for the Family and Medical Leave Act. It provides up to 2 weeks, 80 hours of paid sick leave for those who need to care for someone else. And then it also provides payroll tax credits to employers to cover the cost of providing this paid leave. Now, because it was done so quickly, we're not really sure how it's all going to be implemented. However, the Department of Labor has come up with a few things right now. So they're trying to answer some questions. And again, it just depends on the type of employer you are. If you're less than 500, there are exemptions for those less than 50 employees if it would be a hardship on your organization. So here is just talking about how it's going to work. So you have 2 weeks at regular pay for those who are actually experiencing the virus themselves or think that they are or in quarantine. They will get 2/3 of their regular rate of pay if they're caring for someone else. And that could be because your child doesn't have childcare anymore, or it could be because somebody else is sick. Then it provides, this is the part with the Family Medical Leave Act. So the Family Medical Leave Act, you've got the first 2 weeks here, and then you have an additional 10 weeks, again at that 2/3 of the pay, if you're unable to work. And again, you're not able to work, meaning you can't work there physically, nor can you do remote work. So the Department of Labor goes on to talk about their who are these covered employees, what are the reasons, how are you going to qualify for the leave, how long the leave is, and it is based on these different qualifying reasons, okay? How do you calculate the pay? The big thing that's really got employers concerned, or that they just don't know what's going to happen. So they know that at some point they're going to be reimbursed. So keep in mind, this was enacted on the 18th and it kicks in on April 1st. So they had 2 weeks to figure this out. And that's really difficult with such a change like this, and especially when we don't know if people are sick and how they're going to work, and if we can have people working from home. We've had a lot of those types of issues even at the University of Mississippi. So they know they're going to get a tax credit, dollar for dollar. They're going to be reimbursed. But how do they collect all this data, and what are those qualifying wages? So there are still a lot of questions that will have to be answered with that. And again, the Department of Labor has put out a separate frequently asked question list, the dates, who are, what defines an employer, what defines employee, how do I know if I have 500 employees or less? And so less than 50 employees, what about the child care, calculating pay, what about overtime pay? So there is just a lot that's going on there. And I've actually posted this main Department of Labor website under the student resources if you want to go and check that out even more. So also in the news, unemployment not surprisingly, has gone way up. If you think about restaurants, all the hospitality, all these major service industries, retailers, where people can no longer be served, so you don't need employees to do this. And so they're saying that it's about 1.5 million jobless claims this week. Look at that. The number is expected to jump to 2.25 million in this coming week. So the unemployment insurance system that we have in the U.S. just really wasn't designed to move as quickly as this coronavirus, because as we'll learn later, when we talk about legally required benefits, this is paid for by companies who have done a lot of layoffs. So if you've done a layoff in the past, then you get to pay more money into this system. Well, that's not working for what we've got right now, and that's why the government tried to kick in. What are they doing? So in addition to the Families First Coronavirus Response Act, they just yesterday passed, the Senate just passed a $2 trillion stimulus package, and it's expected to be signed by the president by the end of the week. So this is going to include direct payments and jobless benefits to individuals. I have no idea how they're going to do that. So I'm sure they have a number of committees and people working on this round the clock to try and figure this out. Who's going to apply? How are they going to apply? How do you know how much money to give them? Is anybody going to be trying to verify if they really are in desperate need or not? Lots and lots of questions. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of how this doesn't just affect people personally, obviously, but the overall U.S. economy. $2 trillion. I don't even know what that is. That's such a large number. So this is really, really something that we need to follow on a number of different levels.